Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on the next video. Means a lot to me that you guys are listening and wanting to learn. That's awesome. Maybe your parents made you do it, I don't know. But I'm still glad you clicked on the video. Our new unit we're going to be talking about is 3D shapes. Now 3D shapes is a really fun unit, especially since you guys are kind of stuck at home. You can find 3D shapes all around the world. 3D shapes are a little bit different than 2D shapes. Remember when we talked about 2D shapes? There are shapes that are like flat, kind of like a piece of paper, or when you draw it on your desk or a whiteboard, right? 3D shapes are shapes that you can't just leave them flat. They kind of pop up. They kind of come at you, right? So the first one we're going to talk about is a cube. Cube kind of looks like this. You can see it. What do you notice about a cube? Think about it. What I see in a cube is that it's made up of like kind of like a bunch of squares all around, and it's equal all around wherever I look at, right? It doesn't look different no matter which way I turn it. What I want you to do is I have a cube right here, but I want you to go around your house and look for as many cubes as you can. I'm sure you can find a lot. For example, you might be able to find a cube in your house that might look like this, or maybe a cube that looks like this, or possibly even a cube that looks like this. Yeah? I want you to just look at them, notice how they're all the same. They can kind of be bigger or smaller, no matter what. If it's a really gigantic one or a really, really tiny one, then it could still be considered a cube as long as all the sides are equal. Okay, move on to the next one. Okay, the next 3D shape we're going to be talking about is a rectangular prism. Now, I don't want you to get confused with a rectangular prism and a cube because yes, a rectangle and a square kind of look the same, but they're also very different. Remember, a square or a cube, all the sides are equal. Rectangular prism, not so much. So for example, this one is a rectangular prism, and this one is a cube. Notice that they're almost the same, but this one, all the sides are equal, right? But this side, that side is a little bit longer than this side right here. But then this, they kind of look a little bit more equal, right? So this is a rectangular prism. Now rectangular prisms can also look like this. It's still a rectangular prism. They can come in different sizes and shapes, but they follow or they kind of look like these. You might see a lot of rectangular prisms in your house. For example, you might see a rectangular prism that looks like this or that. Maybe even this. I know maybe even at a time like this, I get a lot of these from the mail because I kind of think it's like Christmas and I have a problem with buying things. But I have a lot of those too. Right? So those are rectangular prisms. It's good for you guys to see what they look like and know the difference between a rectangular prism and a cube. And we'll dive in a little bit deeper in a later video. This next one's pretty easy. It's called a cone, and I'm sure in your head already, you're probably thinking of ice cream cone, right? That's what I think of too. And it kind of looks exactly like that. Here we go. This is a cone. Notice that a cone is kind of flat at the bottom right here. It can just hold up. And we don't have like sharp edges. It's just round all the way around, right? So I don't think there's any edges on here. And if you don't know what an edge is, we'll talk about it in my next video. And it just comes to a tiny point up at top. Cone, like an ice cream cone. There's a lot of different cones in the world. It might be a little bit more difficult to find a cone in your house, but see if you can. If you have some ice cream cones, please share because ice cream sounds so good right now. But here are some examples of ice cream, or not ice cream, now I have to thinking of ice cream cones. Here are some examples of cones in the real life world. Here's one right here, another one right there, and this one right here. Okay, let's do it. The next one we're going to talk about is a pyramid. This thing right here. Notice this kind of looks like a cone. I can kind of hold it like a cone, but it's a little bit different than a cone because it kind of has these edges and then they're flat over here and it won't roll away. Unlike a cone, Where if I have it like this, it would easily just roll out of my hand. See? So this is a pyramid, has like a flat bottom, has these triangles on the side that you can see, and it also comes up to a point, kind of like a cone. So this is called a pyramid. There's actually many different types of pyramids. This one we're gonna call it a square pyramid because at the bottom there's a square here, okay? You might also recognize a pyramid or the word pyramid from places like in Egypt where they have like big pyramids. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it kind of looks like this. Hopefully one day you get to go see them. I would love to see them, but probably not anytime soon. But just look on pictures, they're just as cool. See if you can find any pyramids in your household. I don't know if I can find any in mine right now, other than this one right here, but this is a pyramid. Okay, the next one we're going to talk about for 3D shapes is a cylinder. Cylinder, you might actually have a lot of these in your house, particularly around now, but a cylinder kind of looks like this. It could look like this, where it's a little bit wider and thicker, or it can be a little bit skinnier and taller. No matter what, they're still cylinders because notice they kind of look the same. They both have circle flat bottoms. They're round so they can roll back and forth, right? And then the other side is also a circle. You're probably thinking you see a lot of these in your house right now. For example, if you're thirsty, you are probably drinking out of this cylinder. Or if you're hungry and you're sick sometimes, you might be eating from this type of cylinder. Or there are many other cylinders that you might have here, like that one, and also maybe this one. These are your cylinders. And moving on to my next favorite one. Okay, this one, as you guys probably know, is my favorite one. It's called a sphere. It looks like this. It also kind of makes me sad because it reminds me of sports, and there's no sports on TV right now, so I'm so bored. But you can probably find a lot of spheres in your house. Notice that sphere, nothing is flat on it. It's just round, kind of like a ball, okay? Hopefully you didn't say ball for this. We're going to say sphere because you're a 3rd grade and you're going to use big mathematical terms now, okay? Oops. But there are many types of spheres. Some of my favorites include that, this one here, that one, this one, and just many other ones. There's so many different ones. Just reminds me of sports. Not a football though, because a football kind of has points at the end. But there are many types of spheres in the world. And just not sports. They can just be anything that you can see. Well, that's it for 3D shapes. Tune into the next video so we can talk a little bit more about 3D shapes and its attributes. Bye.